All right. First one is, of course, A. You can't do Pythagoras unless there's a 90-degree triangle. Every triangle's angles add up to 180, so it can't have been B. And the other two also make no sense. Pythagorean triple is A. I explained that. I shouldn't have had to, because what do you think a Pythagorean triple is? Pythagoras is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So which one of them worked? It was A. Because, of course, A and B had to be the shorter sides, and C had to be the hypotenuse. This one was, the carpet was 3.2, 4.6. What's the distance between the corners? That is, of course, the hypotenuse. All you had to do is Pythagoras, and it was D, I believe. C, I'm a big liar. It was C. Most people did pretty well on this. This big screen TV, 32, 43. Again, it's Pythagoras, and it was 54. This question got a few people. The ladder is 5 meters long. It's 1.5 away from the wall. So how far up the wall does it reach? That's the triangle. It's still Pythagoras, but a bunch of you did 5 plus 1.5, and for some strange reason chose B. Apparently, the hypotenuse is not the longest side when you do Pythagoras. Of course, it is the longest side in the entirety of our universe. It is always the longest side. So this one was D. And this last one was C. Tangents are opposites and adjacents. Turn the page over. Tan of 40. B. All you had to do was push tan 40 on your calculator. This question was, again, a right triangle has an angle of 53. The opposite is 6.4. I need the adjacent side. So, of course, that's tan 53 equals opposite 64 over adjacent is x. So 64 divided by tan 53, which is, of course, C. Number one. I'd say 75% of the class got it wrong. Pencil case is 10 centimeters wide, 13 centimeters long. That's the pencil case. The pencil is 15 centimeters long. How long is that? 16. So the pencil will fit quite comfortably in there. This question, a bunch of you, again, did 9.4 squared plus 6.4 squared and told me this side was longer than this side. I don't know why. I can't help you with that. Of course, it was 9.4 squared minus 6.4 squared, and the answer was 6.9. One of the angles is 80. 80. The adjacent side is 30.6. The opposite side is x. Tan 80 equals opposite x over adjacent, 30.6. 30.6 times tan 80 equals x, which equals 173.5. I think it was. I don't remember. It's a big number. If you have a question, what are you supposed to do? Ask. Anybody have a question yet? Sweet. Hey, where's the rest of the quiz? What the heck? Grumph. All right, well, that's easy to do. We can just draw it out like that. The next one was the child slide makes an angle with the ground. Where's the ground? It's the flat one. Where do slides go? Up, so you can slide down them. Where is the angle between the slide and the ground? Like it says in the question. Right there. Takes up 3.1 meters of ground space. Where's the ground? It's the flat one, 3.1. So how tall is the slide? Right there. That's x. Of course, it is tan 38 equals opposite x over 3.1. So it's 3.1 tan 38, and the answer was 2.4. 1 mark for that, 1 mark for that. Next question was boom, 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 boom. This was 5, because the question told you the letters A were 5. And it told you the letter B was 4. I wanted to know X and Y. Told you that was 90 degrees. What does that give you right here? 90 degrees. What does that mean you can do to find X? Pythagoras. 5 squared plus 5 squared equals X squared. 25 plus 25 equals X squared. 50 equals X squared. What do you do to get X? Square root. So this was the square root of 50, which is 7.1. Now you have this. Green guy. You know this is 7.1. What do you have there? Because that had that sign. Pythagoras again. 4 squared plus 7.1 squared equals y squared. So it ended up being y was 8.1. And the last question looked like this. Boom, 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 boom. 52, because it told you t was 52. B was 45, because it told you B was 45. A was 30. And I wanted to find X and Y. Well, there is a right angle triangle, yes? Because this had this symbol right there. Do you have an angle? Yeah. Do you have a side? Yeah. So does that mean you can find the third side? Yeah. Tan 52 equaled 45 over x. Letter on the bottom. Multiply or divide? Divide. 45 divided by tan 52 equals x, which was 35.2, I believe. That makes this what? 65.2 or whatever you rounded it to. Now, you know that's 52 because in this big blue triangle, you know the bottom is 65.2. So tan 52 equaled y over 65.2. 65.2 times tan 52 equaled y, which was something like 83, I think. Ish. Any questions? Sweet. All right, here's what's going to happen. It's 8:20. I told you I would give you about 45 minutes to work on your trig review, which you were supposed to start last night and leave yourself with 45 minutes of work to do. So, I'm going to set a timer for 45 minutes. When they come on and do the fire drill announcement, I'm going to stop the timer. When we get back in and we get settled down, because I know you guys are teenagers, and if you're like the dog in that cartoon when he sees a squirrel. As soon as something catches your attention, it takes a long time to get you back. I understand that. I was the same way at your age. So when you get back and we get settled down, I'll start the timer again. When it goes off at the end of 45 minutes, I'll check and see who needs 5 more minutes. Somebody will. I'll give you 5 more minutes, and we'll stop at 50 minutes. At that point, I will walk around and see how much you have gotten done. If you have none of it done, don't try to tell me on your test tomorrow that you got 25 out of 30 if none of it is done. Do you understand me? Lovely. Everybody ready? Go. The review begins on page 73. Charlotte. Yes, they are. How could that possibly be? It's the corner of a room. Floor, wall, wall. job, Avian. So you lost a shift of work? Avian. You know, I said in the video like 17 times that I was going to give you time to work on it today. Oh, well. Where do you work? Oh, yeah? You know, when Superstores first opened in Canada, all the stock people were on rollerblades. They got rid of that pretty fast. I never got run into, but I imagine a few people did. Erlen, you're an old school tiger cat, are you? Hit me.
How would you draw?
I'll give you a hint. It's 3 dimensions, right? Mm-hmm. There's a triangle on the ground and a triangle in the air, right? That should help.
However, people do ask some interesting questions. There's one guy asking, is celery a vegetable?
You should tell them that botanists actually don't make any distinction between fruits and vegetables. That's something that was done by the food industry. There is no difference. But celery, in parlance, is usually considered a vegetable. Fruits are generally considered anything that is the flower. What?
I needed to. Can I have some help?
Of course you can. That's what I'm here for.
I wanted to make sure this one is.
What are you doing here? This is crazy talk. This is already a right angle triangle. See, it's got that sign right there. You don't need to do that. Appreciate it.
Okay, so for this on the test, I know I did the picture wrong, but shouldn't I get this right?
No, because you did it wrong. You got the right answer, but you did it wrong.
What did I do wrong?
How did you get 2.4?
By this.
What did you do?
38 degree tan.
Show me. Make the calculator get to 2.4 doing what you did. Because you didn't tell me what you did. Yo.
Did you explain this question?
Yeah. It makes a rectangle that's 10 by 13 and the hypotenuse is 16. The pencil's only 15.
How do you get 16?
Hypotenuse, Pythagoras, 10 squared plus 13 squared.
I don't know how to use this calculator.
Okay, we'll talk about it when we get back.
You're going to be headed out the main door, crossing the street, and lining up column meter in alphabetical order by teacher last name. A will be closest to Abbey Arts Center, and D will be closest to Bevan Road. At this time, please evacuate the building. This is a fire.
Apparently they want us all going out the front door. So let's go. Everybody out the front door. And leave your stuff. Let's go. Our house is burning down. Don't worry, I will save you all. None of you will come to any harm in our burning down school. Because schools never burn down anymore. Turn to the right. Oh, that's okay. All right. Time is back on. Back to business. Okay, show me how you got that. Yes, I'm aware of that. I'm just wondering why it happens to some part because, of course, the way you set this up should be very one divided by 30. That's what's going on. You set it up right. It's that. And but that's wrong. It's opposite over adjacent. You got opposite over adjacent. You have it in the math right. You did the right math. You set it up. Sure. No problem. You shouldn't. But I don't care. So go ahead. I know you did. You're like those guys when there's a disaster and they show the highway leading away from the town and everybody is lined up to get away and there's always that one guy in the car driving back towards town. 800 people came in the front door, so you guys thought, I'm just going to go over here. I get you. It's okay. I understand. It's a tough world to live in because the other side of that coin is, if all your friends jumped off a bridge, would you? Right? Like all the kids came in from the front door, so you guys went around to a different door. Some people would say, that's good thinking. But other people might say, these doors are open. Being a kid is fraught with peril. Okay. Whew. Amrit.
I changed it so.
Nice work. Determine the length of CD. Okay. Yeah, that's correct.
And two.
So what are we trying to do here? What are you asking me?
Make sure it's correct.
Oh. Sine 30. CB is right here.
CD.
The CD, you're right. I told you. It is 8.5.
Yeah.
But number 2 is CB. That's this one.
Oh, okay.
So go fix it. Okay. CD. CD, right there. Which means I must use a triangle that has two pieces of information. which is right there. In that triangle, I have theta of 32, I have a hypotenuse of 16, and I have an opposite of, I don't know, sine 32 equals opposite x over 16, 16 sine 32, and it is 8.5. So you get 2 marks if you have all that stuff. Number 2, how would you determine CB? So you have a couple of options because the question says the expression you would use. You would either do the square root of 16 squared minus 8.5 squared, right? Because that would be Pythagoras. Or you would do 16 times cos 32, because that would be hypotenuse and adjacent. Or you would do 8.5 divided by tan 32. Any one of those 3 gets you the 2. What is the height of AC? Well, if this is 45 and this is 90, what's this? 45. If those 2 are the same, then these 2 are the same. So AC is 8.5. You could have done it with all kinds of trig as well, but there's no need. And the last question is A to D, which is right here. So that is the easiest way to do that is Pythagoras. 8.5 squared plus 8.5 squared, square root it, and you get whatever you get. I don't know what it is because I don't have my calculator going. But I could have my calculator going. Square root 8.5 squared plus 8.5 squared. Something around 12. Making the whole first page out of 8. Any questions? Going once. Going twice. Going thrice. Lovely. All right, this question caused a lot of people a lot of trouble. I'm going to draw 2 triangles. One will be yellow. That triangle will deal with this. There is an airport. There is an airplane that is 37 kilometers north. North is up and down usually. And 81 kilometers east. So that airplane is 37 and 81. Everybody agree? Now, do airplanes drive on the ground? No, that's why they're called airplanes, not ground planes. So if the airplane were on the ground, it would be this far away from the airport, wouldn't it? And how would we find that distance? I would do Pythagoras. This distance is the square root of 81 squared plus 37 squared, which is, I think, 89.4. But the plane is not on the ground, is it? The plane is where? In the sky. 6 kilometers up from this point, which is why I've made a green triangle. This is 6. This is 89.4. So how far is the plane really away? This line. How do I find that line? That is the square root of 6 squared plus 89.4 squared. And I think the answer is 89.7 or something. I don't remember. But it's easy to check because the first one is the square root of 81 squared plus 37 squared. Oh, it's 89.1. That's why. I knew there was an 89.4 somewhere. And then that answer, the square root of that answer squared, 89.1, plus the other side, 6 squared, gets me a final answer of 89.3 out of 2 marks. Decide how much you deserve. If you got the yellow triangle right, you're halfway there. You can have 1 out of 2. What is the angle along the ground that the airplane is at? So the angle on the ground, is that the yellow triangle or the green triangle? Yellow triangle. So my yellow triangle looks like that. I know that this is 37. I know that this is 81. I need the angle from the airport to the plane. Is that A or B? B, the angle between the airport and the plane. This far. How do I find that? That's my theta. What's that? Opposite. What's that? Adjacent. So it is shift tan of 81 over 37, which is 81 divided by 37. 65 degrees. Agreed? But that doesn't answer the question. If you got to there, you have 1.5. The question says, as the direction east of north, which means I started going north, N, I adjusted 65 degrees to the east. And that is all written on page... I don't remember what page number it is, but it's all from the page entitled Angles in the Real World. So if you got to there, you get 1.5. And finally, the angle of elevation to the airplane. We know that the airplane is 6K up. We know that this was 89.1. How do I find the angle of elevation? Shift tan of 6 divided by 89.1, and I believe it is 3 degrees. But I don't totally remember. Shift tan, 6 divided by 89.1. I'm the worst kind of liar. It's 4 degrees. Making that question totally out of 6. Any questions from it? Going once, going twice, going thrice. I have recorded all of this. As you can see, the little red light is flashing, which means you can go back and watch this all online. In this question, I have 2 triangles again, don't I? I have the blue triangle, and I have the yellow triangle. Yes? First question, I need the height of the tree. Is that blue or yellow triangle? Blue. Do I have a theta? What is it? 32. What else do I have? I have an adjacent of what? 52. What do I need? Opposite. What uses O and A? Tan 32 equals opposite x over adjacent, 52. How do I get rid of divide by 52? 52 tan 32. And I believe the answer is 22-ish. But I'm not sure. I'll have to check. 32, 52, tan 32. 32.5. Sorry. The tree is 32.5. Now I need the total distance from the bottom of the canyon to the top of the tree. Well, I know this is 32.5, so if I know this yellow part, do I know the answer? In the yellow one, I have a theta of what? 67. I have an adjacent of what? 52. I need an opposite of y. So I already know that it is tan 67 equals opposite y over adjacent 52. 52 tan 67 plus 32.5 will give me my total. 52 tan 67, close brackets, plus 32. Oh, it should have been 32.5. So it was 155 feet. Out of 2, out of 2. No, of course not. This is not kindergarten. Making that question out of 4, making this whole page out of 10. First page was out of 8. Is everybody good? 2 trees are 100 meters apart. So, there is 1 tree. Tree 1. Tree 2. How far apart are they? 100 meters. From a point midway between them, which means, how long is this side? 50. How long is this side? 50. To the taller tree is 13. To the shorter tree is 8. How much taller is one tree than the other? So if this tree is X and this tree is Y, I need to know X minus Y, don't I? Because X is the taller one because it's got the steeper angle. How do I find X? Opposite over adjacent, right? Which means the 50 is going to be on the bottom, yes? How do I get rid of it when it's on the bottom? Multiply. So X is 50 tan 13. Then I have to subtract, what's this side? If this side is 50 tan 13, what's this side? 50 tan 8. Then I can just go to my calculator. I don't even need brackets, I don't think. I think my calculator will do it. 50 tan 13 minus 50 tan 8. 4.51. Is that what everyone got? Oh, it's in centimeters. So 4.516 meters is 452 centimeters. But I'm in a good mood. We've already done this. If you got to there, you can have your full 2 marks. If you remembered that, you can add a bonus mark. So it's possible to get better than 100% on this review. Okay, this question caused a lot of people a lot of trouble because they didn't really pay attention when I talked about angles in a real world. That's why the map is there. Read the map. The sailboat leaves Roberts Point and sails to Coal Island. Here's Roberts Point. I'm going to use a better color. Here's Roberts Point. Here's Coal Island. So he sails to Coal Island, then sails to Fernie Island, and then home. So this is your triangle, yes? Robert to Coal to Fernie. This is 1750. 0.016 degrees. Or not 0.016, 0.16 degrees. North is 0. What's east? 90. So I go from 0 to 90. I start at north and I go that way. So there is the 16. So you have a theta of 16. What is this 1750 to theta? Adjacent. Adjacent of 1750. What do I need? I need the hypotenuse is x, and I need the opposite is y. I can find both of them right now. Who chooses what order you do this in? You do. So right now, if I choose a different one than you, is your work wrong? No. Wait till I get to the answer. I am going to go cos 16 equals adjacent over hypotenuse, 1750 over x. So 1750 divided by cos 16 equals x. And I'm not going to go to my calculator yet because I need one more. Then I'm going to go to, now I need opposite and adjacent. Tan of 16 equals opposite y over adjacent, 1750. So 1750 tan 16 equals y. And my final answer is, of course, x plus y plus 1750. So now I go to my calculator. 1750 divided by cos 16 plus 1750 tan 16 plus 1750. 4,072.32. Is that what everybody had? There you go. Out of 2. I know that's a lot of work for 2 marks, but I've also given 2 marks for 1 step, haven't I? So it all equals out in the end. You decide how much you get. Next question. Curtis Point is north of Armstrong Point. So here's Armstrong Point. Here's Curtis Point, just like it says. So I've got Armstrong Point goes up to Curtis Point. The boat leaves Armstrong and goes to Kingfisher, which is over here, right? Just like it says. So the boat goes over to Kingfisher Point, back to Curtis Point, and then home. I know Curtis Point is 800 from Armstrong. Now, I leave on a 307. What's north? 0. So I go all the way around to 307. If I went all the way around, how much is left here? What is a full circle? You've all played snowboarding video games. 360. So if this is 307, what's this? 53. Now, do I have a theta and a side? So can I do the work? Theta equals 53. Adjacent equals 800. And again, I need an opposite and a hypotenuse. So I'm going to do a different order this time. I'm going to do, well, it doesn't really matter. Tan 53 equals opposite x over 800. So 800 tan 53 plus cos 53 equals adjacent 800 over hypotenuse, which I'm going to call y. So it's 800 over cos 53, and then I add the last 800. Then I go to my calculator. 800 plus, that's 80, you idiot, 800 plus 800 tan, that's 80, 800 tan 53 plus 800 divided by cos 53. 3191, because of course you would round that up. Everybody good? Making that page out of 2, 4, 6. The rock climbing club. That is exactly the same as this question 5, 2 triangles. I want to know the height of the cliff. I need that. There's my x. I have a theta in that blue triangle, don't I? In the blue triangle, my blue theta is 43. My opposite is x. Can I do trig yet? No, I need either an adjacent or a hypotenuse. There's a second triangle here, the red triangle. It has a theta of 69 degrees and an adjacent of 30. Can I do trig on the red triangle? Yes. So, on the red triangle, I need this side of the red triangle, which is my opposite, yes? But it's also on the blue triangle. So what uses O and A. Tan of 69 degrees equals O, Y over A, 30. 30 tan 69. Now, I could go to my calculator there, couldn't I? But if I do that, there's going to be rounding and I'm going to get a slightly different answer, right? So I'm going to leave that like that because now I know that the blue adjacent is 30 tan 69. Agreed? Now, in the blue triangle, tan 43 equals opposite, x, over adjacent, 30 tan 69, right? How do I get rid of this divided by? Multiply. So it's 30 tan 69 times tan 43 will give me x. 30 tan 69, close brackets, times tan 43, close brackets, equals 72.87, so I round that up to 73 meters out of 2. Any questions? Now, did you have to do this? No. I could have gone 30 tan 69, close brackets, and this would have been 78.2, correct? Then over here, it would have been 78.2 times tan 43. And I would have gotten same 73 meters. Okay? I don't care which way you do this, because does it really matter? We're not actually climbing this cliff, are we? We're in a math class, so the trig is the important part. Understand? Now, if we were in the real world, is exactitude important? Obviously, right? If you have to mix medicines for somebody, you can't be like, it's about this, right? Okay. And a microwave tower is supported by a series of guy wires. We've done this question before. Where do towers go? Straight up in the sky, right? It's got 2 wires. One of them is 9.8 away from the base. So that's 9.8. And it's got an angle of inclination of 37. There's another wire from the same anchor point that goes to the top. And it's 58. So I like to draw this triangle this way. 37. And this is 9.8. Because now they're not on top of each other. But they're the same, aren't they? If that's 9.8 and that's 9.8, we're cool. What this really looks like is this is the 37 right here. But then they're right on top of each other, and it's hard to do. So I switched it to this. Does it matter? No, except that has to go there. Which triangle, yellow or green, answers the first part? The yellow triangle. So in the yellow triangle, I got a theta of 58, and adjacent a 9.8, and I need an opposite. What uses tan 58 equals opposite over adjacent 9.8 tan 58. That's the height of the tower. .68. Then in the green one, now, do I even need to set it up? Like, I know it's 9.8 times the angle to get the height, right? So over here, I can just go 9.8 tan 37. .4. Yeah? 7.38, because I used 2 decimals before. Now what do I do with those 2 answers? Subtract. 15.68 minus 15.68 minus 7.38, 8.3. So to get this question, I needed the 15.68 because I wanted the height, and I needed 8.3 to get my full 2 marks. And lastly, now one person asked me about this, which kind of surprised me. Usually kids say, I don't know what a suspension bridge is. A suspension bridge is like the Golden Gate Bridge, the Lions Gate Bridge, the Golden Ears Bridge, the Port Mann Bridge, the Alex Fraser Bridge. It's a bridge with towers that have wires that suspend the bridge. Now, the towers reach 135 meters above the level of the bridge. Where's the bridge? Is it the red line or the wavy blue line? It's the red line, so this is 135, yes? The angles of elevation are where? One of them's here, one of them's here. 10.8, 18.65. Now, there's a problem with this question, right? How many towers are on the bridge? Does the question say 2? Read the question. Does it say 2 anywhere? No. All it says is towers. There's more than one. How many of you assumed 2? That's fine. There is 2. So I need this distance, x, this distance, y, and then what do I need to do with that number? Multiply it by what? 2. So how do I find x? Well, I've got a theta and an opposite. So what is it? And I need an adjacent. So what is it? What's my theta? 10.8. What's my opposite? 135. I need an adjacent. So it's opposite over adjacent. So it's 135 over tan 10.8 plus, this one I should be able to do in my head right now, right? I don't need to set it up. So it's 135 over tan 18.65. And then when I get that answer, what do I got to do? Multiply by 2. And the answer is something like 2,100. I can't remember. 135 divided by tan 10.8 plus 135 divided by tan 18.65, close brackets, equals, times 2, 2,215. And that is out of 2, making that last page out of 2, 4, 6. So that page out of 6, the previous page out of 6, that's 12. Then 10 is 22, then 8 is 30. Give yourself a mark out of 30. When will you tell me what you got? On the test that I give you tomorrow. I think this time, just to make sure, I actually wrote review score. Maybe you'll write it down this time, those of you who didn't last time. Now, listen please. Unless you ask me something right now, we are done with trig. Yes, you do. When we go to teacher school, they say we should wait 30 seconds. Everyone is ready for a trig test tomorrow. Nobody wants to ask about anything to do with trig. Cool in the gang. So I'm going to stop this recording because this